Hello, everybody, and welcome. As you can see, Lyall is operating in the sort of semi-dark. I don't know what he's doing there with a few lights. Welcome.
I'm just in my lounge is very strange, Neil. It doesn't get much lighting, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's okay. We can see you, which is good. Right, we're doing this early just to let everybody know because
Yes.
Nico has got a very hectic week, very, very stressful for Nico. He's at Sun City with the family.
Shame. That's tough, eh?
It is tough. So he's got a very stressful week. He's left us with the cards, and I know you've got commitments tomorrow morning, and I've got super pick commitments and all sorts of things. And you've got a daughter with a sprained finger, and I've got a son with a hernia. There's lots going on. Maybe there's an over. But let's get straight into it. I'm going to share the soccershop.bet screen with everybody. At this stage, there are no scratchings, actually.
None. No.
So I was about to press this, but now it's the wrong one. So I'm going to ask you to carry on. Yeah, what did you make of the card in general?
When I first looked at it, it looked fairly easy, Neil, but as I sort of delved deeper into it, it's not that easy. I didn't find it that easy, to be honest. You'll see when I get to each race and explain my reasoning. I think there's no straightforward, standout, easy banker. I didn't think, Neil.
Okay, well, let's get into it. I tend to agree with you because I was already shopping around for a soccershop.bet price booster for tomorrow. And like you, I didn't really find anything that jumped off the page. But let's start with the first race, which is a qualified maiden plate. It'll be the first leg of the bipod due off at 12:55. And the support early on has come for number 7, Gimme the Flame, who is a daughter of Gimme the Green Light. She's pretty consistent. Heather Addison, the trainer. I suppose she sets the standard.
Yeah, 100%, Neil. She is the right one for me here. Tops the speed rating. Marco van Rensburg takes the ride. The cheek pieces are off. That's important, I think. And I like her draw of 11. She took on winners last time. And when I went into these form lines here, 2 winners from the Profit form line, 2 winners from the United Express, 3 from the Give Me a Shot, 6 from the Time for Orchids, and then taking on winners last time, Gobsmacked and Tayuba have come through to win. So on paper, Neil, she certainly is the horse to beat. I'm going to mention horses like number 2, Silk Garden. I know that they expected her to win a few runs back, so I don't like the draw, so not a confident selection, but should be thereabouts. Number 1, Queen Theodora. The winner did win by 8 lengths last time, so don't worry about that last run too much. The first 3 runs, there are combined 15 winners from the first 3 runs. So I think Queen Theodora could be there in bouts. And then I had to mention my value bet here, not to win, Neil, but to place Ocean's Pride at 16-1, back from 107-day rest. She just could run into the top 3 or 4 here. I don't think she's going to win a race very soon, but she'll be my value. But I think give me the Flame on form, Neil. Looks like the one to beat.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. And I'm glad you mentioned the Time for Orchids run because that has worked out very well. My roughie in the race would be number 8, Memorial Day, who was just behind her on Time for Orchids run. Hasn't done much since then. But I don't know whether Calvin Habib will be riding because I think he had a very nasty fall in that last race at Greyville.
Yes, he did.
Recovery. So we'll check that space tomorrow. A lot can happen overnight. So we always tell folks to check their scratchings and check the jockey changes, and tomorrow would be no different. But probably the value there, well, certainly the form horse is the favorite.
Neil, just to jump in with you, if that's 10-1, what is the price on Memorial Day?
I don't know. Let's go back and have a look, shall we? Memorial Day.
Please do.
Memorial Day is 10-1. Yeah, 10-1 Memorial Day.
Yeah, okay. No, that certainly is better value than my Ocean's Pride. It is in fact my 4th selection, number 8. I was just leaning towards 1 and 2 there, but I agree with you on that run behind Time for Orchids was only a quarter of a length behind. So I like your value bet, Daniel. As far as the bipod is concerned, and I know you and I aren't the best bipod people in the world, I personally would go a little wide, or for the smaller banker, take a chance with number 7.
Yeah, and I would do the same, but you're right. Neither of us are great bipod fans. Right, let's move on to the second race. Now here we've got a 14-10 favorite, and they're betting basically 6-1 bar that one. And once again, it's Paul Peter. Gabella Mazziniana is my man of the moment at the moment. In fact, I did a question and answer segment with the International Racing Club today, and then at the end of it, you've got to suggest somebody who gets interviewed next. And my suggestion was Gabella, because I said the guy's riding really well and a very likable guy. So he's riding number 2, William the Fighter, and pretty much similar to the first race. I suppose this horse sets the standard.
He does, but I'm going to take him off here, take him on here. But I agree with you. Gabella Mazziniani, not only is he a talented young jockey, he's a very easy man to speak to as well. He's quite a confident young man. We've done a few shows with him. I know you have too. So yeah, certainly a man on the up. But I'm going to take it on with number 8, Full Go. And the reason for this, if you go back to the 30th of June, actually beat William the Fighter. And if you look carefully there, the earmuffs came on 2 runs ago. And since then, he's run 2 decent enough races. Diego de Gavea retains the right for Billy Raters, and he's nicely weighted as well. So for me, he's the one that could give number 2 a go. And I also liked a little bit of number 4, Future Wolf, who was around 8-1. I'm just leaning in now to see where what's it about 7-1 or so?
8-1, yeah.
8-1. JP for Heather Adamson. That was a graduation last time, Feather Boa, 5 3/4 lengths behind. So even though quite well beaten in all 4 of his runs, being 5 3/4 lengths behind Feather Boa interests me in a race like this. And then, of course, number 2, William the Fighter. He's had a few issues, all 3 of his runs. And if you go back to that debut run, that is where he was just behind number 8, Full Go. So yes, he's got more improvement to come. It was his debut. So not straightforward for me, Neil, but I would mention 8, 2, 3, and 4. I'd mention all of those, Neil.
Yes. Okay. So again, for the bipod, you'd put all of those in, right?
Yeah, I would, Neil. I'm a bit scared that there are 1 or 2 others that might give the 2 a go.
Yeah, I'm just looking. The more I look at it, it is quite deep. I mean, you've got a horse like 12 Sugar Beach. He must be any price, but he did run by Zeus one day. Yeah, I think there could be a shock result here. I mean, for me, it's either the 2 or you go wide. But you've pointed out that Full Go did beat him on the 30th of June. Okay, let's move on to the third race and have a look at a odds-on favorite here, which is horse number 2, Summerland. Interesting that Donald Geertsen comes up. Now, he claims 2.5. He was recently claiming 4, but he's just gone past the mark where he's lost that 4-kilogram claim. He's now 2.5. But this horse is very short of that. Betting's to be believed. 7-10. Sure, is that right? Can that be right? Well, I see it said open up 7-1. It's now 7.
It was 6-10 yesterday, so you're spot on.
Okay.
6-10 yesterday.
It's a bit short, isn't it?
Yeah, very short. I agree. And before I forget, Neil, Pilasande Mqoli, he's now got 50 winners, so no more claim for Pilasande. People must take note of that. And nice to see him getting a few winners in the last few weeks. Yeah,
he's riding very nicely. They're all maturing very nicely. Even our good friend, Mr. Kacherdi, rode a nice winner today. He's riding nicely. Yeah, well, I'm just looking at this field. I mean, I can see why it's 7-10. It's very thin on the ground. And he is claiming that 2.5. He's already only got 58.5 on her back. This is a Quirari filly. She looks pretty hard to oppose, doesn't she?
Yeah, with the 56 kilograms, Summerland is my first selection, but I don't think it's home and hosed. Horses like number 4, Neil, Queen Britannia, Grant Maroon's daughter of Coup de Gras. If you go back 4 runs, she was 5 1/4 lengths behind number 1, Arabian Sky, and 7.5 kilograms better off. And if you go to her debut, in fact, she was 2.5 lengths behind Summerland and 4 kilograms better off. So although her form is not wonderful, with its 50.5 kilograms, she is weighted to, in fact, turn the form around with both number 1 and 2, which makes me a bit scared of this race. So 2, 3, 2, 4, 1, and 3. If you go back to number 3, Treaty, quickly, on that simple form line, she, in fact, was just behind number 2 and only 1 kilogram worse off. So, sure, Neil. Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to be 2 or a few, but my value is certainly number 4, Queen Britannia at the weights.
Okay, Queen Britannia, a little bit of value, and the Maroon Yard is in good form, that's for sure. So once again, perhaps a surprise, but I can understand why the favourite's favourite. But 7 to 10 is a bit skinny, and it's not our style to
It's
chase
a bit skinny.
6 to 10 and 7 to 10
And then
shot.
Neil, just to add in there, I said that Pilasani will have to take off 1.5 kilograms to everything I just mentioned there because Pilasani doesn't claim anymore. So that is important. Now only 6 kilograms better off with number 1, and only 2.5 kilograms better off with number 2. So yeah, number 2 might be the right one here, Neil.
Okay, right, there we go. Just having a look at what else is going on here. I just want to click on this horse racing thing, see what comes up. Because I could have some breaking news for you here. Let me just have a look. I'm going down to Vaal. We're at the Vaal tomorrow, right? Oh, well, this is today's racing, so I think it hasn't been updated. That's why. Let me just go on to tomorrow's events and have a look, because this is where we're at the Vaal. Okay, let's go back. What race were we on at the Vaal? We're going on to race 4, right?
Yeah. We're going on to race 4. Yeah, into race 4.
Yeah. Okay, right. Here's the betting. 16 to 10 global approach. Well, Rachel Wernicke now gets the ride. This is a maiden handicap. Already was carrying a kilogram less than Atlantic City, but now basically with a 1.5 kilogram claim, looks fairly well in. Do you think global approach can shed his maiden, or is something going to find him again?
Yeah, it is my first selection here, Neil. Good form, good recent form. On that last run was 1.25 lengths behind Atlantic City, is 3 kilograms better off, thanks to Rachel. The form line's not too bad. The run behind Triple Decker, Duke of Rain, and Tomorrow's Vision have produced quite a few winners. So I do think that global approach is the right one tomorrow, and also runs well at the track, which is important. The fact that he has run over this exact track, I think it really bodes well for him. After that, a horse like number 4, Ships at Sea. I think this could be a bit of a runner. Although the last 2 runs, he was in the maiden handicaps as well. So it's not like his weight is that much less. But on that run behind Chasing Mavericks, he is 3/4 of a length behind number 1 and 1.5 kilograms better off. So it might give him a bit of a chance at the weights here. And then horses like number 10, the Merciful. That'll be a bit of value for me at about 14 to 1 nil. Pilasani and Toli, but again, that 1.5 is going to come off. So it's going to change my opinion a bit here, but is slightly weighted to get slightly closer to both number 1 and number 3. So that'll be my value bet there, number 10, the Merciful. But again, Neil, definitely leaning towards the 3. Ships at Sea, probably second selection, then value number 10, the Merciful.
Okay, so I don't normally do this because we normally do it the other way around, in so much as I do a preview and then I do a price booster. But I might as well share my price booster with you, because let me just check I've got the right thing here. Oh, well, I've got to find it first, so that might take me a while. Okay, I'll show it to you a little bit later on, because I'll show it to you at the end of the thing, but it's in this race. Okay. The price boost is in this race, and it's already been done with soccershop.bet. So I'll show you that to you at the end. But in the meantime, let's move on to our next race. This is race 5. This is a middle stakes race. I thought this was very competitive. What did you like?
I also agree it is competitive, Neil. Straight off, I'll start off with number 1, Imperial Master. Just a very consistent gelding. Ideal trip, 58.5 kilograms, not anymore. I've just see this Pilasani thing I only got before we went on here. So 60 kilograms, but very nice form lines indeed. I could mention a few of them. I don't want to bore the public, but you can see the whole.
Oh, I don't know what happened there. I think we suddenly lost our good friend Lyall. So let me just come away from that and see if we can get him back. In the meantime, I will pause, which will give me a chance actually to show you the price booster for the
day. Neil?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know. You're back. We seem to have disappeared a bit there, but we've got you back on air.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, we're having a few curve balls, but this gives me an opportunity actually to show the price booster. Right. Okay. Well, it's all happening. So let's try and share this price booster that I have for you. Screen sharing is stopped as the shared window is closed. Oh, well, I don't know what is happening here. So we're trying to get everything sorted out here, but it's not really working. So I'll just have to tell you what the horse was anyway. So we're going to go back to
Yes,
the
please do.
previous race. I like this horse, Lord Tennyson, quite a lot.
Okay, right.
And it buys into what I was saying earlier on about Cabello Matsuyama riding very well. It's actually owned by some of our broadcasting and photographic friends, Warren and Candice Lanferner. But what I like about this horse is he's going the extra 200 meters, and that you'll know that thunderstruck form when he made his debut is unbelievable. How many winners have come from that? And he hasn't been disgraced. He got a bit tired last time, but I think in this company with just 54.5 kilograms, because remember, this is a maiden handicap, I think he's going to really run well. So he was price boosted by SoccerShop.bet as big as 8-1 earlier today. So I think people might snaffle that up.
Okay, well, good find there. Draw of 9, good. And he's run behind Ayafayakatul, very good. They also think highly of that individual.
Well, it's only good if it runs well. It'll be a disaster if it doesn't run well. So they're only good after we see. But anyway, let's move on to the 5th race, because that's where we picked it up and left it off. And you were about to say, what did you like?
No, we were saying that it was very, very open race here because Imperial Master now carries 60 kilograms. He's very consistent. I think he's the horse to beat, but there are a few that can give him goes, including my value bet. Number 7, Wolf's World. I think that's a decent runner at that price. Number 3, King's Crusade. 6, Great Affair. Just to mention a few, Neil. So again, I'm going to say this a few times throughout this card. Either the 1 for smaller punters, take a chance, or you need to go fairly wide, Neil, and include my little roughie there, number 7, Wolf's World.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm going to go pretty wide myself in that race. Nothing of standout because, as you say, Pilasunda no longer claiming. So that horse will revert back to carrying 60, and perhaps he is vulnerable. Let's move on to race 6 now. And this is a race over, which is due off at 15:43. This was a race where I actually was going to go for my price booster, and then I thought it was a bit skinny. But let's hear from Lyall what he likes in the 6th race.
All right, well, Neil, I made it between the 3 of them in this order. I'm starting with Crusade to Royalty, the daughter of Crusade, with 53.5. Cabello Matsuyama. That Smiley Rivers come through to win from the Zazu form line. 53.5 kilograms, nice, never runs a bad race. And I wrote here in my notes, maybe today, because she's nicely weighted. Is that the one you like straight away, Neil?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that was the horse. That is my clear first choice.
Oh, good. I'm glad you say that. And the 2 that I thought could follow her home were Arlington Action, Tyrone Zaki and Ryan Munga. Waited to get right on top of number 1, who is my other selection, Romeo's Magic, Brett Warren, Marco van Rensburg. 2-4 for the first time. Despite the 60 kilograms, is running well at the moment. But like I say, I'm going to lean towards the 10, like you, from the 3 and then the 1.
Okay, yeah, I like Crusade to Royalty, but just from a price booster point of view, I chose to go for the other horse because it was 8-1, so a little bit better value. And Crusade to Royalty was a little skinny, but I do like her chances. She's a filly in classified company, and I'm with you. Although, funnily enough, when I studied the form, it was through Lamborghini, using that as a line horse. Arlington Action might very well have the beating of Crusade to Royalty, but Arlington Action is a gelding running in classified stakes company, so I just leant towards the 10. But I like you. I think that the winner actually will come from the top of the boards here.
Yep, I agree with you. And number 3, Arlington Action could be a bit of a danger to our selection.
Okay, let's move on to the penultimate races. Roy Magner's horse number 4, Stormy Lass, is the favourite in the 7th race with Mr. Jeffrey Saister on. Jeffrey was our price booster horse at Greyville today. Didn't let us down. He ran 2nd, and I think he got 10-1 a win and 18-10 a place. So he ran quite a nice 2nd.
Well done. Well done.
Not a winner, but we'll take it. A good 2nd. I think this has got a chance, but beyond that, it's fairly competitive. What did you think here?
Well, my first selection is going to be number 7, Baby Don't Hurt Me. JP van der Merwe for Paul Peter. I thought at the weight share certainly would get closer to a horse like number 5. Take note, there's a blinker strike as well. Not too far back the last few. And if you look at one or two of them, like for instance, that form line behind Red Carpet Girl was 2 lengths behind number 5, Letizia's Angel, 2 kilograms better off. I thought that today just could be the right day for a horse like Baby Don't Hurt Me. But I do have respect for Stormy Lass, Letizia's Angel, and even a horse like number 2, Clean Living. I thought the winner could possibly come from them. And if you're looking for an outsider, maybe number 1, Spanish Song, but is held on that last run behind Stormy Lass. So narrowly 7 from 4 and 5, Neil.
7 from 4 and 5 for Lyall. I must have another look at this race because I feel that I'm missing something. I don't know what it is, but maybe it might be Lyall's number 7, Baby Don't Hurt Me. But I studied quite deeply enough to know that number 2, Clean Living, and number 6, Vuitton, are actually sisters. They're both daughters of Paris Fashion. They're half sisters because Vuitton's a Vercingetorix and Clean Living is a Ferrari. Yeah, well, Geertz and Donald takes 2.5 off Clean Living, which I think will make her pretty competitive. And even Vuitton's got no weight because Sasibo takes 4 kilograms off. I didn't like this race. I think I might play a bit wide, take my chances early.
Yeah, I agree. When I looked at Clean Living on that last run, Neil, she is held by Stormy Lass. So, I mean, there is still improvement to come. So, yeah, I don't know. I agree. It's not the easiest race in the world.
Yeah, what I thought about that run, and you're right, she's well held, Stormy Lass, but Clean Living, it was at the Vaal Classic, and she was drawn 10 out of 11, so she was probably done a little bit by the draw. I think she'll get closer to Stormy Lass, but yeah, I think that race deserves a second or third look. Well, speak of the races that look like a nightmare. What about this one? 6-1 the field. Good luck.
Yeah.
6-1 the field. What do you think?
Well, I studied it in great depth, and then I eventually wrote next to my selections, wow, this is nasty. So to cut a long story short, I'm going number 1, Ridge to Reef, Donald Geertz for the Ashley Fortune stable. I could go form lines here all day. I don't bore anyone here, Neil, but I quite like that price at 10-1, Ridge to Reef. Number 4, I think could be a player here, which is Lulu's Boy. Nice win last time. Jared Penny for the Roo stable. The 15 horse, which is Roger the Dodger, big runner on those last 2. And Marco van Rensburg's getting a little habit now of winning the final race occasionally. So just watch out for that. But is held by number 7, the Guiding Fish on the last run. So this just goes in circles, Neil. And then I'm going to end off with another value bet. Number 10, Written in Stone, who I think is at 14-1. Brett Weber, Nathan Klink. Hasn't won for 710 days, for goodness sakes. But merit running in a good spot, seldom far back. Value place, I thought, if we go to the run behind, let's do it, was 2.2 lengths behind Ridge to Reef, my selection, and 2.5 kilograms better off. So if I like the one, I have to like a bit of number 10. So long story short, Daniel, I think anything can win. I'm going to go with 1 and 10, 2 pricey horses as my selections.
Okay, yeah, mate. Look, I would never say anything can't win this race because I think you're spot on. It looks like an absolute swirler, but it's a merit rated 74 handicap, so that's always vulnerable to an upset. Interesting support for Power Ranger. I think this is his second run for Roy Magna. He's been a bitterly disappointing individual, particularly because of the way he's bred. You know, he was a Silvano out of a Captain Al mare, and he did, he won fairly early on, but he's been expensive for punters to follow, but new environment, he might continue to improve. And then long shot support for number 11, Twice the Storm. It's Paul Peter, and you could never, ever rule out Paul Peter. So the only thing he's drawn on the inside.
I just wrote, I wrote a draw with my orange Koki, which means, but the form lines weren't too bad. And it is Cabello Matsuniano.
Yeah, I'm looking for Cabello to have a good day. Well, that last race is open. Lyall, what are your movements tomorrow? Are you working tomorrow? Are you out at the Vaal?
Yes, I'm at the Vaal, yes.
Okay, so punters can catch Lyall out there tomorrow on the broadcast. This was a weird broadcast because we had sort of load shedding issues and
load shedding without load shedding.
Yeah, well, I'm sitting here now not so much with load shedding, but no water. We've also got a water shortage.
No, that we have issues with as well. And look what I've got here, Neil, because I've got no light in my lounge. So I actually do use the candle.
Yeah. You know what
And then,
happens
Neil,
when you get to stage 10, a guy from Escon comes in and goes and blows that thing out.
It blows out your candle. Now, Neil, I wanted to say one thing to the punters out there, because, you know, on being on course is such an advantage. I often chat to the trainers, particularly at the Vaal, and they give me all the information early in the day. So as I go throughout the day presenting, I give all that information onto the punters. And, you know, often I sit with you and we go, yeah, I like full go in race 2. And then I speak to a few other trainers and they say, no. Race 2, this horse is the one, and all the jockeys confirm it. So obviously we give that information to the punters. It's never easy predicting racing, you know, 12 hours before, of course.
Well, you know what I'm going to say. I mean, and it's not because I'm going to compliment you, and I'm going to say it politely because I love the trainers, but I'd rather follow your selections than trainer selections, to be honest. No, I would, because you study form and the answers are all in here in these computer forms.
They are.
All I need to know from a trainer is that the horse is well. So yes, I will listen to you, and we will listen to tomorrow, because the more information is the better. Look, everybody has their own way of playing. For me, it's just about form. So we will stick with it. Thanks very much, and have a great day, Lyall. We will put this up. It's a little bit roughshod, but anyway, folks have now got it. Just a reminder that there will be a take a bet tomorrow, and there is, I've already told you about the soccershop.bet price booster. That'll be up and advertised on Twitter as well. Lyall, have a good evening.
And Neil, if our followers are worried that we look like this on this video, this is actually how we look. This is not a bad video.
Thanks, Lyall.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, man. Cheers. You too.